Joining us tonight to discuss whether special prosecutor Robert Mueller is bad for the nation and the potential train wreck that awaits on Capitol Hill as multiple committees are colliding on this investigation. Congressman Ron DeSantis, a member of several key committees, including the Oversight Committee. He's also a member of the Freedom Caucus. Congressman, great to have you with us.
Good evening.
Let me start with, why is there a special counsel and what crime is being investigated? Could you, could you illuminate that for us?
Well, if you look at the regulation, it's triggered when there is a criminal investigation. And in this case, Comey testified in March, which is what the Deputy AG cited in his order, that it was a counterintelligence investigation. And so my response to the media who in D.C., they've been itching for a special counsel, has been, there's not a crime to investigate. It's a counterintelligence matter. And so we're going to have the Deputy AG talk before the House. It's going to be a classified session tomorrow. But I'm going to ask him, you know, what changed and why are you now doing a special counsel? I actually think it could end up working out to the president's benefit in the long run. But at the end of the day, special counsels are for criminal matters, not for counterintelligence matters.
And what has been the reaction when you say that? Because the rest of us are saying it too. Where is the crime and why is there such acquiescence to the insane calls for a special counsel on part of the deep state, the Dems, the left-wing national media? I mean, this is horrific, horrific conduct on the part of our government.
Well, you're right. We have an iron triangle. The elements of the permanent bureaucracy, the Democratic Party, and the elite media, they are at war with this administration and with this president. And ever since November 8th, as soon as the returns came in and he was president-elect, you know, they've been trying to destroy him even before he took office and now. And so they create this frenzy of, oh my gosh, there was a contact, maybe have been a contact. Anonymous sources, of course. We never have anyone speaking for the record. We never have any actual documents. But it's story after story. The Dems getting a tizzy, all this other stuff. And I think the Deputy AG, I just think that he caved and did this because he was taking a lot of...
as being a weak person? Is he this intellectually, is he so bereft of principle that he acquiesces to the popular opinion of the national left-wing media? I mean, good Lord Almighty.
Well, I'm going to ask him.
We need an independent counsel on his conduct, his principles, and his values.
So I'm going to ask him about this tomorrow. Hopefully he'll be able to give an answer. Say, you know, what changed? We had this counterintelligence matter. What evidence have you seen of a crime? He's probably not going to give me a straight answer, but I think that that's important. What he said to the senators, who then reported to the press today because they had a briefing, was that he was concerned about how the department's reputation would come out of this with all the firestorm. But, Lou, the problem with that is that's not what the regulations provide for. And so I think he's got to answer some questions about how this came to be. Now, that said, the fact that there has not been any evidence of any criminal activity, to me, we actually could see this thing wrapped up sooner rather than later. That's not the norm with these things. But normally, and heck, you talked about all the investigations that should have been done with Obama, where we knew there was criminal offenses. And even in the past with special counsels, there's always been something that they could grab onto. We have yet to see that in this case.
And the Obama administration, whatever you think of President Obama or any of the officials of his administration, they were, if you would, they were certainly, without any question, gathered together. There was solidarity. They did not dissent. There was no leaking permitted, and prosecutions, by the way, of those who did. This administration has been defied by the FBI itself, by other intelligence agencies in their refusal to report to the administration those who are leaking and to pursue consequences. We are watching, and I am frankly, I'm heartened to hear you say, Congressman, that this is an attempt by what you style as an iron triangle to steal this White House and to seize history itself. It is a coup attempt against the Trump administration.
And here's the issue. The American people elected Donald Trump president. We have permanent elements in our government who think that really they are supposed to run the show. And since they don't like Trump, they don't like, his positions, they think it's okay for them to go outside of the law and exert themselves. And understand how many felonies have been committed by people inside our government by disclosing classified information illicitly. I mean, you've had at least a dozen, I would say, just over the last 4 or 5 months, and you're exactly right. That was not happening under President Barack Obama. Part of that, I think, is because the permanent bureaucracy liked Obama better, but part of it is that the media was not in this frenzy that they are right now. When we pushed for a special counsel for Lois Lerner, for Hillary's emails, the media laughed at us. Eric Holder laughed. Loretta Lynch laughed.
But
they didn't move a muscle for that. Here now, you have the forces that are acting much differently.
And it may turn out to be Darwinian, Congressman. The left seems to have stronger stomachs, much thicker stomach linings, and the capacity to actually fight for what they believe. Those qualities are not readily apparent in what passes for a Republican Party these days.